Donald John Trump, a name that has become impossible to ignore. To some, he is a symbol of success, resilience, and American grit. To others, he represents division, scandal, and excess. But no matter which side of the debate you fall on, Donald Trump has left an unmistakable mark on business, media, politics, and culture. His life has been a story of ambition and reinvention, of massive deals, crushing bankruptcies, surprise victories, and never-ending controversies. He has been called a genius, a con man, a savior, and a threat, all in the same lifetime. And perhaps the most important thing to know about Trump is that he thrives in that spotlight, feeding off attention whether it is praise or criticism. Donald Trump was born on June 14, 1946 in Queens, New York, to Fred and Mary Ann Trump. His father was a successful real estate developer, having built thousands of homes and apartments for working-class families. Fred Trump was a hard-driving businessman who instilled discipline and competitiveness in his children. Mary Ann, who had emigrated from Scotland, gave the family a foundation of faith and resilience. Donald was the fourth of 5 children, and from an early age he was brash, confident, and eager to stand out. He got into fights, pushed boundaries, and often tested authority. His energy was difficult to contain, and at the age of 13, after too much misbehavior, his parents enrolled him in the New York Military Academy. The military school shaped him. The structure and discipline that frustrated many boys seemed to fuel Donald. He thrived in sports, particularly baseball, and climbed into leadership roles. He discovered that competition energized him, and that projecting confidence, sometimes even more than he felt, brought respect. Friends from those years remember him as ambitious, never willing to back down from a challenge. The boy who once struggled with discipline found a system where ambition and toughness were rewarded, and he excelled. After high school, Trump began college at Fordham University, but transferred after 2 years to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. Wharton was, and still is, one of the most prestigious business schools in the country. Trump studied economics and real estate, learning the fundamentals of finance and markets. While he was not remembered as a top student, he gained the credentials and confidence he needed to pursue bigger ambitions. In 1968 he graduated and entered his father's real estate business. Fred Trump's empire was substantial, but it was focused on middle-class housing in the outer boroughs. It was practical, profitable, and reliable. But Donald wanted more. He wanted Manhattan, the city's beating heart of wealth, power, and prestige. He wanted skyscrapers and luxury towers, the kind of projects that made headlines. More than that, he wanted his name to be synonymous with success. In the 1970s, Donald Trump began pursuing deals in Manhattan. His first major breakthrough was the Commodore Hotel, a dilapidated property near Grand Central Terminal. Where others saw a money pit, Trump saw opportunity. He negotiated with the city for massive tax breaks, partnered with Hyatt Hotels, and transformed the building into the Grand Hyatt. The deal was a success, and announced Trump as a new force in Manhattan real estate. Just as importantly, he mastered the art of publicity. He fed stories to reporters, boasted about his success, and made himself as much a part of the story as the buildings he was building. Then came Trump Tower. Completed in 1983, it was a symbol of everything Trump wanted to project: wealth, glamour, and ambition. The black glass skyscraper on Fifth Avenue housed luxury apartments, high-end shops, and an atrium with waterfalls and marble. Trump made sure his penthouse at the top dripped in gold and extravagance. Tourists visited not just to shop but to see the palace that bore his name. Trump Tower wasn't just a building, it was a brand statement. The 1980s were the peak of Trump's early career. He expanded aggressively, buying casinos in Atlantic City, launching Trump Plaza, Trump Castle, and the Trump Taj Mahal. He purchased an airline, Trump Shuttle. He bought the New Jersey Generals football team in the USFL, attempting to pressure the league into merging with the NFL. He dabbled in everything from yachts to modeling agencies. Trump was everywhere, on magazine covers, gossip columns, and television interviews. He married Ivana Trump, a glamorous skier and model, and together they became New York tabloid royalty. But the good times couldn't last forever. Trump's empire was built on massive borrowing. He used debt as fuel, confident that his projects would generate enough to cover the costs. When the economy slowed in the early 1990s, the weight of those loans came crashing down. The Taj Mahal casino filed for bankruptcy in 1991, followed by other properties. His personal fortune plummeted, and for the first time, he was mocked as a symbol of excess gone wrong. Newspapers asked if the Donald was finished. His marriage to Ivana collapsed in a very public divorce, fueling more tabloid headlines. But Trump was not finished. He negotiated with banks, cut deals to reduce his debts, and protected his core assets. Most importantly, he realized his greatest strength wasn't just his buildings, it was his name. The Trump brand had value. Developers began paying him to license the name Trump on their buildings. He didn't have to borrow billions or risk collapse. Instead, others took the financial risk while Trump collected fees and maintained the illusion of a vast growing empire. During this period, he leaned harder into media. He published books like The Art of the Deal, portraying himself as a master strategist. He made cameos in films and television shows. His high-profile second marriage to Marla Maples and subsequent divorce kept him in the gossip pages. But Trump understood something few businessmen did. Attention was currency. Even if the coverage was negative, it kept his name alive. By the early 2000s, Trump was staging a new comeback. He built golf courses, hotels, and continued to license his name globally. In 2004, he reached a new audience as the star of NBC's reality show, The Apprentice. Each week, millions of viewers watched as contestants competed in business tasks, only to face Trump in his boardroom. With a stern expression and his signature phrase, "You're fired," Trump became a television icon. The show was a massive hit, running for years and spawning spin-offs. For a generation of Americans, this was how they came to know Donald Trump, as a decisive, no-nonsense billionaire who demanded results. The Apprentice rebranded Trump. His business struggles of the 1990s faded from memory, replaced with the image of a powerful mogul. The success of the show boosted his fortune through licensing deals, new developments, and speaking engagements. He put his name on everything. Trump hotels, Trump golf courses, Trump University, Trump vodka, Trump steaks, even Trump water. Not all of these ventures succeeded, but they all kept the brand alive. Trump had become more than a businessman. He was a celebrity businessman. And it was that celebrity that propelled him into politics. For decades, Trump had flirted with political ambitions, giving interviews about America's decline and even running short-lived exploratory campaigns. But he always returned to business and media. By the 2010s, however, the political landscape had shifted. Anger and frustration were growing across the country. Trump tapped into that energy. In 2011, he became a loud voice in the so-called birther movement, questioning President Barack Obama's birthplace. The claim was false, widely condemned, but it gave Trump enormous attention among conservatives. He had discovered a new base of support. In 2015, Trump made his boldest move yet. At Trump Tower, descending the golden escalator, he announced his candidacy for president. His speech shocked the political world. His blunt talk on immigration, trade, and Washington elites drew immediate fire, but it also resonated with millions who felt ignored by traditional politicians. His slogan, "Make America Great Again," captured that energy. Experts dismissed him as a joke, a sideshow. But Trump dominated the media. Every rally, every insult, every tweet became news. His opponents couldn't match his ability to control the conversation. He steamrolled through the Republican primary, defeating governors, senators, and party favorites. Against Hillary Clinton in 2016, polls and analysts predicted his defeat. Instead, he pulled off one of the most shocking upsets in modern history, winning the Electoral College and becoming the 45th President of the United States. Trump's presidency was unlike anything before it. He slashed regulations, passed tax cuts, and appointed 3 Supreme Court justices, reshaping the judiciary for decades. He withdrew from international agreements, renegotiated trade deals, and pursued an America First foreign policy. His supporters praised him for boosting the economy, standing up to China, and keeping campaign promises. His critics accused him of fueling division, spreading misinformation, and undermining institutions. The controversies were constant. The Mueller investigation probed Russian interference in the 2016 election. He faced accusations of conflicts of interest and misuse of office. He was impeached twice by the House of Representatives, first in 2019 over his dealings with Ukraine, and again in 2021 after the storming of the U.S. Capitol. Through it all, he maintained a loyal base of supporters who saw him as a fighter against a corrupt establishment. The COVID-19 pandemic defined the final year of his presidency. His handling of the crisis, his skepticism of masks and restrictions, and his combative briefings divided the nation. The 2020 election against Joe Biden was one of the most contentious in U.S. history. Trump lost both the popular vote and the Electoral College, but he refused to concede, insisting the election was stolen. His challenges failed in court, but the claim energized his base. On January 6, 2021, as Congress certified Biden's win, a mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol. The images shocked the world and led to Trump's second impeachment. Leaving office, Trump remained the central figure in American politics. He held rallies, endorsed candidates, and hinted at another run. In 2022, he announced his candidacy for the 2024 election. Even as he faced multiple indictments, from his business practices to his handling of classified documents, his support among Republicans remained strong. For his followers, the legal battles were proof he was being targeted by a corrupt system. For his critics, they were evidence of accountability finally catching up to him. Outside politics, Trump's business empire continues to revolve around his brand. His real estate holdings, golf courses, and hotels still generate revenue, though some have struggled. He launched Truth Social, a social media platform, after being banned from Twitter in 2021. His wealth remains a subject of debate, with estimates ranging from billions to less, depending on valuations and debts. But for Trump, the precise number may matter less than the perception. As long as people believe he is wealthy and powerful, the brand continues. Donald Trump's life has been a cycle of rise, fall, and comeback. From a boy in Queens to a Manhattan mogul, from bankruptcy to celebrity, from reality TV to the White House, and now from ex-president to presidential candidate again. His story is one of relentless ambition and a refusal to fade from the spotlight. He has turned controversy into fuel, setbacks into reinventions, and fame into fortune. For his supporters, Trump is the embodiment of the American dream, a billionaire who fought for the forgotten. For his critics, he is a cautionary tale about the dangers of populism and celebrity politics. But either way, Donald Trump has already secured a place as one of the most influential figures of the 21st century. His story is not finished. Whether he returns to the White House or not, his impact on America and the world will continue to be felt for generations.